In this video, I'll show you how to create a subscription plus a welcoming sequence to that subscription using Stripe and Make.com for any kind of subscription you want to create. It can be a subscription to a community, it can be a subscription to any kind of content, or you may have a SaaS service and it can be a subscription to that specific SaaS service of yours. Plus, I'll show you how to create an automatic cancellation scenario to that subscription so that whoever wants to cancel the subscription, they can do it by themselves automatically without you having to do anything. And by the way, this scenario will work even if you have multiple subscriptions active. Okay, so with that being said, let's dive in the video. All right, so basically we're gonna go over two different scenarios in this video. This is gonna be scenario number one, where we have a new subscription created and then we have the welcoming sequence to that subscription. And then we have scenario number two, which looks like this. In this case, this scenario will work for two different subscriptions. This will be subscription number one, and then this is gonna be subscription number two, in which case a person wants to cancel their subscription, so it can happen automatically over here. And by the way, if you want access to these two blueprints, this one and this one, so you can just import them in your account, in your Make.com account, join my school community, first link in the description below, and then you're gonna find the blueprints over there. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to have your own Stripe account. It's gonna look somehow like this. You can see over here, this is the welcoming dashboard. Basically, you need to go over here to product catalog. Then in the beginning, you're not gonna have any kind of products or any kind of subscriptions over here. So what you need to do is you need to click over here at add product. And then over here, you need to name your product. For example, I can say Pivos Test Consulting. Then you can put a description over here, and then you can also put an image. I would highly suggest you do that because then it shows that it's very professional, right? So you do that, and then the main part that you need to make sure that you do correctly over here is that you don't want that product to be a one-off product, but you want that product to be a recurring subscription, basically, right? So over here, I mean, you're gonna choose whatever currency you want, let's say US dollar, and let's say you're gonna have a $97 per month subscription. Okay, so you can include tax and price, or it can be automatic, or you can include or not include tax in this price. And then you need to determine over here the billing period. Okay, so is your subscription gonna be monthly? Is your subscription gonna be daily, weekly? So there are different choices over here. The most common one is monthly, so let's go with that. And then you would click on add product. Okay, so I'm not gonna do this right now because I have created two basically test subscriptions. One subscription is for $1 a month, and then the other subscription is for $2.37 a month. And after you have created your subscription, then what you wanna do is you wanna click on it. Then you go over here to these three little dots, and then you click on view payment link. Cool, so you will see a payment link over here for your specific subscription, and then you can just copy that link. And then if we open up that link, then you will see this page, which basically allows the person to enroll in your subscription. Okay, so in this video, I'm not gonna go over exactly where to put this link. You can embed this link in your website, you can embed this link into funnel and landing page of some sort, or whatever you want. So wherever you want to send people to start their subscription with you, then you need to basically take this link and insert it over there. Cool, so now let's say that you've got your subscription or subscriptions ready. You have, let's say, two different subscriptions, or you can have like 3, 4. Now, the thing that this specific scenario will not work on, and you need a bit of a more complicated scenario, but it is possible, is if you have subscriptions, like multiple subscriptions of the same amount. Okay, so in that case, you need something a bit more complicated, but we're not gonna go into that for today. We're gonna keep it simple. And by the way, I just wanna make a comment here. If you want any kind of growth, or in this case, financial systems, automated systems, installed in your company, then you can click the third link in the description. You can book an appointment with me, and then we can see how we can help you out. So let's go ahead and build these scenarios together. So this scenario is gonna be Stripe scenario 1 out of 2, and we start with a Stripe module, watch events module, because we need to get Make.com to trigger it when a new subscription is created. Okay, so we click on create a webhook. The very first time that you need to connect Stripe to Make.com, there are two different ways. As you can see over here, like we have my Stripe OAuth connection and we have my Stripe API key. So OAuth means open authorization, which basically means that different platforms have access to other platforms and other accounts of yours, in this case your Make.com account, without them knowing your login details. Okay, so it's a secure way of having authorization. API key, API basically means the connection between different platforms, for example Stripe and Make.com in this case. Okay, so you can always go with my Stripe OAuth connection. I found that that's not a good way to do it in this case because we need a very specific type of access shortly in the second scenario. So I would suggest you go with my Stripe API key. To retrieve that API key, what you need to do is basically you need to go to your Stripe account, then you go to API keys, and then you're gonna have a publishable key, and then you're gonna have a secret key. Okay, so how Stripe works is that when you get access to that specific secret key for the first time, you can only view it once and then it disappears. Let me go to my other account, which is this one. As you can see here, I have not used this specific API key. I can click on reveal live key and then I will basically have access to that. But if I wanna view the secret key, I have to click on reveal live key and then I will have just one chance to view it. So you will also have one chance to view it. So whenever you see it, just copy, paste it somewhere safe. And then you take that key and then basically you would go to your API key over here and then you would drop it here. Okay, so I'm not gonna do that now because I already have a connection. So let's go back to this watch events module. Now what you want Make.com to monitor in watch events, the specific event that you want Make.com to monitor is customer subscription created. You don't want anything else. You click on save and here we go. It's totally ready. You don't need to do anything else. You click on OK. Cool. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this specific module to run once. Fantastic. So now it's waiting for data, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and trigger it by enrolling in my subscription right now. Cool. So I paid for this specific subscription and we're ready to go. Let's see. Here we go. So the Stripe webhook got triggered. And by the way, if you don't know what a webhook is, you can imagine it as a little thingy that basically gets triggered because something else happened, and it by itself can trigger a lot of other things. Let's say in this scenario, we trigger that, and then we have a bunch of other modules that get triggered one by one. Okay, so if we go over here to object, I tried to find it, but I don't find any email over here, anything. The only thing that I found is the customer, but with a customer ID. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to add another module that we're gonna use the customer ID in that module to find the email of the person that just purchased from us so that we can send them a welcoming sequence. So next module is gonna be a Stripe module, make an API call. An API call is basically a call to another platform to either send data, get data from that platform, or even do other stuff like delete subscriptions. That is one API call. So yeah, this is basically what it is, right? So we click on make an API call. Now look at this. We need to put a specific URL here and we need to find the customer, right? So here we go. So we need to get the customer and that specific customer. We need to get that specific customer. So this is what we need to use over here. Retrieve a customer. Fantastic. So what we do is we take specific string of characters and we copy that without the initial slash over here, and then the API call is going to be a get call because we need to get the customer. Okay, so what happens here is basically Make.com, because we're using Make.com right now, is going to communicate to Stripe and then it's going to ask for that specific customer. So we're going to put it over here and we're gonna replace ID. So we need to find, here we go, customer, and for example, the ID of the subscription starts with SUB, stands for subscription. Customer stands for the customer starts with CUS because it stands for customer. For example, latest invoice would start with IN. So that's good that Stripe names it like that. So we go to customer, we click on customer, then the method is going to be get because we see it over here. It's a get method. And then for headers, for a get call, we don't need headers, so we can just delete that, and then we click on OK. Now what I'm gonna do is I don't want to re-trigger the Stripe, the initial Stripe module, because that would mean that I would have to like purchase another subscription again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here, and then I'm gonna take the customer ID, and I'm gonna run this module only. And for customer, we're gonna paste it over here. Fantastic. All right, and we click on OK. We got what we needed. And by the way, status code was 200. Status code 200 means that it was a success. Okay, so if we go to body, then we're gonna see over here my email. Okay, one of my emails. Cool. So we have the email over here. Next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna put a router in place, my favorite router. Now we're gonna create the welcoming sequence to that subscriber. Okay, so in this case, I'm gonna pretend that I have two separate subscriptions, as I do, because one subscription is a $1 a month subscription and the other one is a $2.37 a month. But next step is gonna be a Gmail step, send an email. Okay, so if you don't know how to connect your Gmail or your Google Drive account to Make.com, I have a very specific video on that. You can go ahead and check that out. And this is gonna be a send an email for one subscription, and the other one is gonna be a send an email for the second subscription. Okay, but how are we gonna specify for which subscription are we gonna welcome the new client for? Okay, so what you wanna do here is you wanna set up two different filters over here. So filter number one is gonna be amount. Amount is 2.37. And the condition is gonna be, you have to basically scroll down to the very first module, and then you basically need to go to plan over here, and then you have to click on amount. Okay, so if the amount is equal to, it's a case insensitive 237, so it's gonna be 237. Okay, now the reason that we don't put any commas or anything over here is because if you go to the API documentation of Stripe, you can see here it says amount intended to be collected by blah blah blah. So a positive integer, an integer basically is a full number. It's not like 1 point something, it's 1, 2, 3, etc. So if it is for $1, it's gonna be the amount is gonna be 100. If it is $999,999.99, then you're gonna have to put this specific number, like basically no commas or no dots in between. Okay, so for an amount of 2.37, the amount over here, the specified amount or the filter will have to be 237. We click on OK. Same for the second filter. So over here the amount is gonna be $1, and the condition is gonna be, again, you have to scroll back down, and then you have to click on plan, and then over here amount equal to 100 because it's $1. Okay, so you click on OK. Fantastic. And over here at add recipient, the email address, the recipient, is gonna be the email account from this module over here. So you have to click on email over here, and then the subject is gonna be something like welcome to the $2.37 a month subscription, whatever that is for you. Let's say welcome to test subscription number 2. Fantastic. And then over here you will have to put the content, right? So you can say, hey name, welcome to test subscription number 2. I mean, over here you can put more details, and then you can say something like best, and then your name. Then what you want to do is you want to take this message, take this specific email, and then convert it to HTML. So I can say convert the above into HTML. Cool, and then you have to copy this specific thing over here, then you go back to make and you drop it over here, and this is how you're gonna have it formatted correctly. Otherwise it will not be correctly formatted, and then you click on OK. All right, so this is basically the very first scenario. This is kind of an easy scenario to set up. The second scenario is where things get a bit interesting, so let's go ahead and do that right now. Cool, so now the second scenario is going to be the subscription cancellation scenario, which is going to be 2 out of 2. And now the nicest or the best type of trigger that I found for this one, I mean, not really I found. I mean, I was just thinking of how would I want somebody to cancel the subscription that I would have, is to receive an email. Okay, so we're gonna receive an email, then we're gonna get ChatGPT to interpret that email and see which subscription they wanna cancel, and then we're gonna go ahead and cancel that specific subscription. Okay, so what we wanna do is we wanna add a Gmail module as a trigger, and it's gonna be a watch emails module. Now the folder is going to be all mail, specifically all mail. And now for this to work, you need to specify to your subscribers that if they want to cancel the subscription, they have to email you to that specific email address that you have connected with Make.com. And then you need to tell them that they have to specify the exact subscription and the exact amount that they're paying for the subscription, so that ChatGPT can actually interpret through that, or even you can tell them to specify the name of the subscription that they're paying for. Okay, so now the filter type is going to be a Gmail filter. Now you can see here it says use Gmail, search syntax, blah blah blah, more information here. So if we scroll down a bit, as you can see here it says search for an exact word or phrase. Okay, so we have to use quotation marks, and you have to tell them to use a very specific phrase for that scenario to pick it up. Okay, so that specific phrase, it can be I want to cancel my subscription. So you need to tell them, you need to email that specific email address, and the subject line has to be I want to cancel my subscription, or cancel my subscription, or cancel subscription, or something like that, whatever you want to set over here. Okay, so what we want to do, we can say cancel or cancel subscription, and we're gonna go ahead with that. Okay, so maximum number of results is going to be 1, which is great. Then we click on OK. You can leave the choice to from now on, then you click on OK. Then the next thing that you want to do is you want to add a ChatGPT module, create a completion over here. Now the model, you can use whichever module you want, but I would suggest GPT-4o. So we click on that, then add message. So basically we're gonna choose system here, and then we're gonna give it a message. Okay, so what the system prompt does is it gives information to ChatGPT on exactly how you want it to behave, or what kind of information you wanted to give, and in which format you want it to give, and different things like that. And then what we want to do is, here we go. I created a specific prompt. You are going to have access to this prompt again in the school community. First link in the description below, which basically says you will be provided with a subject line and the body of an email, and your only job is to analyze if the person wants to cancel the subscription that they are paying for any one of my services. I've got a $1 a month subscription and a $2.37 a month subscription. Of course, over here you will have to adjust it to your own subscriptions. And then I say example input, hello, I'd like to cancel my $1 a month subscription. Desired output will have to be $1 a month. If it is like, hi, cancel my 2.37 subscription, desired output is going to be 2.37. If it is, hi, I'd like to cancel the subscription in general, the desired output is going to be not clear, unless you have only one subscription, when in that case it's going to be fine. And one more thing that you can add here is the name or the names of your different subscriptions, so that even if the person doesn't mention the amount, but they mention, I don't know, the name of the subscription that they're paying for, then ChatGPT can interpret that, and then it can basically go ahead and trigger the rest of the automation to cancel that subscription. Okay, so fantastic. We have the message content for the system prompt, and then we want to add another message, which is going to be a user prompt, in which case the user prompt is basically what the user inputs in ChatGPT, so that it gives him specific responses. Okay, it's not how ChatGPT should behave or what kind of responses ChatGPT should give, but it's what the user puts in ChatGPT. So over here at message content, you can just say email subject line, and then the subject line, oh, we don't have a subject line over here, but it's gonna be this one, basically, subject. You click on that, and then the email body is going to be text content. Okay, now I don't have data, or I have like random data over here because I haven't triggered that specific trigger over here, which is the what's emails trigger. But anyways, and then we go down to max tokens, we put 0, and that's pretty much ready. Cool. So now the next module is going to be a router. I love the router, by the way. I think that Make.com, like one of the main things that Zapier doesn't have is the router. If you don't know, Zapier is another automations platform and everything goes like on a straight line, but the router in Make.com is so nice. And I mean, the user interface is so much nicer than Zapier's. Cool, so label is going to be amount. So amount 2.37, or your own subscription, right? Your own amount of the subscription. Then condition is going to be result contains case insensitive 2.37. Cool, and then you can click on OK. Now, one thing that I want to check here, I've specified the desired output, which is 2.37, because if I would have put a dot over here, then it wouldn't have worked. Okay, like if the output from ChatGPT is 2.37 and the filter over here is 2.37, then it's not gonna work. Okay, so fantastic. We click on OK over here, then we go to the second filter. Over here we're gonna say amount is $1, and the condition is gonna be result contains case insensitive 1, right? Now what I would suggest over here, actually, you know what, I'm gonna change it up a bit. Yeah, I'm just gonna change it up a bit because I've specified something very specific here. It's gonna be $1 a month. So if the result contains $1 a month, or if the result contains $2.37 a month, then it's gonna go either over here to this workflow, or I mean to this specific branch, or to this branch. Okay, and over here, if amount not clear, then we're gonna create a third branch over here so that we receive a message either on Slack or Discord, or you can send an email to yourself or something like that. So the condition is gonna be result contains case insensitive not, then we click on OK. And the reason for that is because over here at the system prompt have specified the desired output is going to be not clear if the message is not very clear on which subscription they want to cancel. Okay, so if amount not clear, it means that that specific message is gonna contain not. So we'll click on OK, and then we're gonna set up something over here. Cool. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna trigger this trigger so that we have some data, so that it is easier for you to follow along. Okay. So actually, I'm just gonna unlink it here because I just wanna trigger this trigger. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send an email to myself with this specification. I'm gonna include a cancel subscription subject line. Cool, so I just received this email over here, and let's go back to make.com. Cool, so let's see what we have. We're gonna choose where to start, select the first email. And here we go, we have my email over here, cancel subscription. Cool, so we have basically every single piece of information that we need. Then we link it up again. And what I wanna do is I want to actually trigger this again because I want to see what kind of output ChatGPT has. Okay, so we're gonna run once. Cool, so the result is 2.37 a month. In which case, I mean, we don't have anything here, but it would have continued over here. All right, so next module over here is a Stripe module, search customers module. Email is going to be, we're gonna scroll down to Gmail over here to the Gmail module, and you're gonna find the sender email. We want the sender email over here, so we're gonna find the email address over here. You click on that. You do not need to add any filters, but if you have multiple subscriptions, for whatever reason, how Stripe works is that even if the person subscribed to, let's say, 2 subscriptions of yours using one email, there are 2 different, like 2 customer IDs that get created. So just keep the limit high over here. Okay, so we're gonna click on OK. All right, so the next module is going to be a Stripe module, and then we're gonna have to choose list payment intents. And basically what this does is it lists the different payment intents, like the person is intending to pay their subscription again. And let's say that you have 2, 3, 4 different subscriptions. And yeah, let's say that specific customer of yours wants to cancel one of their subscriptions. So you would go here to customer ID, and then you would click on customer ID from the search customers module. So you would click on that. Limit, just leave it at 100, that's fine. Great, so the next module is going to be again a Stripe module, make an API call. And what we need to do here is we need to take the payment intents. Let's say one intent is to pay $1 a month, like again, to pay again $1 a month, and the other intent is to pay $2.37 a month. And we need to take the payment intents, both of them, and then we need to get the subscription, the exact subscription, because if we go to over here, you will see that, let's say I have 2 different subscriptions over here with 2 different payment intents. This is going to be 2.37, this is going to be $1. But if we go in the subscription, there are 2 separate subscription IDs, and this is what you need to get in order to cancel that subscription. And one more thing that I want to show here is that I went to customers, and as you can see, I mean, I use the same email both times, and over here both times, but we have 2 separate customers for whatever reason. So if we go into one of the customers, we have one ID over here, and if we go back to the other customer with the same email, we have another ID. So cool, keep that in mind because that's important. Cool, so we went again to Stripe's API, and the next thing that we need is subscriptions. So we go down to, here we go, subscriptions, we click on that, and then we need to get the subscriptions. Okay, so we click on get subscriptions over here, and we copy that, and again it's a get function. So we go back to make, and we paste the string of characters over here at subscriptions. We don't need any headers. Then we go to query string over here, and we need to specify the customer. So we need to write customer exactly as I'm writing it. It's gonna be module number 8, and we need to click on customer over here. All right, cool. And then we click on OK. So now we will rename that, and what this is, it's basically a module to list customers' subscriptions. So we click on OK. Now between this step and this one, we'll need to set a very specific filter over here, which will have to do with the amount of the subscription. So we'll click on that, and then we will say amount is 2.37, right? Because we're on the 2.37 branch over here. So condition is going to be amount over here from the last Stripe module equal to case insensitive. In this case, again, it's 2.37, so it's gonna have to be 237 without anything in between. Then we click on OK. So, and the reason for that is because we only want to cancel that specific subscription. And now next step is going to be again and make an API call, in this case to delete that specific subscription that we found from this step. Okay, so again, for the URL over here, we go back to Stripe API and we want to cancel a subscription. Okay, so now it will have to be one blah 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 subscription and the ID. We copy that and it's going to be a delete function. So we go back to make, we put the URL here. Cool, so now I don't have enough data over here to find the ID because I need to basically run it up to this point. So this is what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna change the method from get to delete. Then I'm gonna click on OK, and then I will unlink this. Fantastic. Then I will go to choose where to start, select the first email. Then again, I'm gonna select the email that we received. Then I click on OK, and then I click on run once, and let's see what happens. So it moves through. Fantastic, everything worked. Okay, so what happened here is that again, we received the email. You can see here we have one output, then it went through ChatGPT, then it went through this specific branch. We found the customer. Basically based on the email, we found the customer. Then we listed the payment intents from this customer. The first payment intent is subscription number 1, in which case the amount is $2.37. The other one is subscription number 2. Like as you can see here, we have two operations. Operation number 1 is subscription number 1 with $2.37. Operation number 2 is the $1 subscription. And then we put the filter over here, so that only if the amount is 237, as you can see here, it's just the amount over here. Okay, amount 237, cool. And because the amount was 237, only one of the two outputs here continued. The other one didn't continue because the amount was 100, basically, right? So, and we got, over here we had to list customer subscriptions, and we listed that specific subscription that is for that specific amount, which is 237. Body, if we go body, oops. Okay, I just realized that I was trying to cancel a subscription from the wrong email. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna email myself for to cancel the subscription from the correct email. All right, so I did this, and let's unlink the last step. Let's choose where to start, select the first email. We're gonna select the second email over here. I mean the first one actually. Then we'll click on OK, then run once. Cool, so now we should have the correct data here. Body data 1, fantastic, great. We have the subscription ID, and this is all we want. And over here, what we want to do is we want to replace the ID, and we want to go to data from the last step, and we want to click on subscription ID, and then we need to click on OK. Okay, so fantastic. This is basically it for branch number 1, or actually what you can also do in the end is you can add a Gmail, send an email, Gmail over here, Gmail module over here, add the recipient, you scroll down to the very first one, then you go to sender, email address, subject, you can say something like your subscription for this specific program over here, or this specific I don't know, service name or something like that, or you can just say your subscription is cancelled. All right, cool. And then content, you can say hello, hey sender name, we're Very sad to see you go. We just wanted to tell you that your subscription is cancelled. Best, I don't know, your company name, team. Cool. Now again, I would suggest you take this, drop it. Here we go. Yeah, drop it here and say same, because I already said that. I mean the same thing above. So cool. So we copy this. We go to our make scenario. We drop it here, and we're ready to go. Okay, so you click on OK, and this is basically the first branch completed of our scenario. So what you can do here is you can literally just press on Shift, then copy, then paste, and then just drop it here, delete module, and over here the amount is going to be $1. Fantastic. And the amount over here is going to be again $1, and we'll have to put 100 here because it's $1. Okay, so we'll click on OK. Fantastic. And we should be good to go on this side too. And on the third branch over here, what I would suggest is, let's say you're using Slack or Discord or something like that, and then you can go to Slack. You can you should click on create a message, enter select from a list. Then I created a private channel over here that is called subscriptions. Fantastic. What I can say here, if a person seems that he or she wants to cancel a subscription, but it's not a specified subscription, let's say that you have multiple subscriptions and they have not specified that specific subscription, then you can say something like, go down and you can say send a name like Fivos Radis in this case, with email address. Seems like one, or you can say actually seems like first name with email blah with email address wants to cancel a subscription. Get in touch with them. Cool. And then you click on OK, and we're ready to go. Okay, so this is basically the whole scenario. Let's try it out now, and let's see if the subscriptions are canceled automatically and successfully. Okay, so what I will do is, again, I will go to choose where to start. I will choose select from first email, select the first email, and then I will click on run once. Okay, and then what this should do is it will go through the first branch, because I said in that email I said that I want to cancel my $2.37 a month subscription. So what it should do is it should go through this specific branch and then cancel the subscription over here. I'm just gonna rename it. I'm just gonna say cancels customers subscription. Cool. And let's see what happens. So I click run once. Let's see. Cool. It looks like the subscription was cancelled. So let's go back to our Stripe account. Here we go, Stripe account. Let's refresh. Cool. And we have one active subscription. And if we go to canceled, we have one canceled subscription over here. The subscription that was canceled is for the product that is called test subscription number 2. That was $2.37 a month. Okay, so this was a success, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna send another email saying I wanna cancel my $1 a month subscription. As you can see here, I received an email with a cancellation. Hey, Fivos Radis, we're very sad to see you go. We just want to let you know that your subscription is canceled. Fantastic. So now what I'll do is I'll use the same email and I'll say, actually, yeah, I'm just gonna compose a new one. I'm gonna say cancel subscription, want to cancel my $1 a month subscription. I'm gonna send it. And now if the scenario was already on over here, it would have already run through the middle branch, but because it's not on, I need to trigger it again. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to choose where to start, select the first email, and I'm gonna choose the last one. I'm gonna click on OK, and now I'm gonna click on run once, and if everything goes well, it's gonna run through this scenario over here, I mean the middle branch, and then yeah, this is the only thing that it will do. Okay, so let's run once. It starts over here. Whoop, here we go. So it ran through that part of the scenario, and let's see if the second subscription is canceled too. And it disappeared from here, and we go to canceled, and we can see it just appeared here. So fantastic, it works very well. And if I go to my Gmail address, I received another email just now, 0 minutes ago, that says that my subscription is canceled. I'm not gonna go through to the third branch because it's gonna work. It's very, very simple. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This is it for this video. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you can see the value and how to use it, because it's actually a great thing that you can do for any SaaS products, any type of subscriptions that you might have or your clients might have. It's something that I was trying to find how to do on YouTube, but literally I didn't find any single video on that. So if you want access to both scenarios that I went over in this video, join my school community, first link in the description below. And if you would like growth systems or financial systems like the one that you saw in this video installed in your own company, so you can enjoy running your company without you having to do a bunch of other stuff that literally distract you from what you should be doing and creating more customers, more sales, and growing your company, then you can click the third link in the description below. Just go ahead and do that and get in contact with me, and then we can see how to install systems like that. Okay, so with that being said, hopefully you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.